Sasha. Oh yeah, I'm telling you. Alright. My amplified unit, wake up, get amplified. Sasha's jamming out, man. Rock it, Sasha. Sasha, I need you to do me a favor, do me a solid. Cut my motherfucking music. Go ahead, Sasha, cut that shit, please. Cut my music. Thank you, darling. You're amazing. You're getting a raise in the near future, I can already tell. My assistant, Sasha, she is crushing it out of the park as of late. Now you see, we got the tie. We got the tie from the Amplified collection on, right? I take my ties seriously. I take my suits seriously, but especially my ties. I got my nice one. My nice one from the Amplified collection on. I had a very important meeting this morning. Something very, very lucrative in the future. And when I got back, I said, you know that video, Sasha, that we're going to cut next week? You know that video that we're going to record next week? The Wrestler of the Year for the men, the Women's Wrestler of the Year, the Tag Team of the Year. I said, Sasha, change in plans. We getting amplified today. I said, Sasha, we're cutting that video today. I said, Sasha, we're going to claim the king and the queen and the tag team of the pro wrestling world. We're going to call that shit today. Wrestler of the Year for the men will be crowned today. Female Wrestler of the Year will be crowned today. Tag Team of the Year will be crowned in this very video. There's no need to wait. I'm feeling fucking pretty fancy. I'm feeling like I can crown some royalty today. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Men's Wrestler of the Year, Women's Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team Wrestlers of the Year, Tag Team of the Year. That's going to be issued right behind these black strips. We're going to peel that off on that top one right here. I got the Male Wrestler of the Year. You guys want to know who it is? Based on the Amplified stats, I'm going to peel that shit off in just a little bit. The second line, underneath that black strip, I have the Female Wrestler of the Year. And on that bottom row, I have the Tag Team of the Year in pro wrestling, man. It's all there, just ready to be revealed. And we're going to do that coming up, man. Now, a little bit of an asterisk. When I say of the year, you're thinking, well, BC, the year's not over yet. We are going from summer 2021 to summer 2022. That's how we're doing it on the Amplified channel. Because for my tried and trues that have been with BC since I've been making content for the last 5 years, you know that starting in October and beyond, from October on, it's hectic. It's a chaotic season for BC. I have a lot of traveling, even more so than usual. And it's usually when we wind down the year, I usually have to go everywhere from New England to Florida to California and beyond. So this is when we're doing it. The time frame is last summer to this summer, basically today. There's only another week and a half left of summer, so that's going to be the year time frame. Don't be shocked if I start mentioning some things that are before last summer, though. Because, you know, BC, I'm about the numbers, stats, and I have a lot to go over in a short amount of time. Don't worry. This isn't going to take that long. You guys are going to know who the male, female, and tag team wrestlers of the year are very shortly. But I want to make sure that I do my due diligence and tell you exactly how we came to these conclusions. Now, do me a favor. This is a little bit of a warning and an ask. Do not cry over these reveals. This is what BC has come to, right? And I base my criteria not just on in-ring talent and skill set, but also, can you cut the promo? Or do you have the believability factor, the realism factor? Is your selling as good as your offense? Is your mannerisms on point? Your facial expressions? I dissect and critique every part of these wrestlers, their situations, stories, matches, and then some. This is a very due diligence channel. You guys know that. Stats mean something. Numbers mean something. overall feel, momentum, charisma, character development. Man, all of this plays so much of a role in deciding who is up here in the pro wrestling world and who is losing traction if they ever had it. So I ask, if you have a different male wrestler of the year or female wrestler of the year or tag team of the year, that's great. Maybe you came to your own conclusions on your own fundamentals, how you dissect wrestling. That's fine. This is BC Amplified's channel. This is how BC comes to his revelations, my moment of clarity when deciding who is on top of the wrestling world. And if you don't agree, that's fine. I don't need you to go, Basically, I disagree, man. It doesn't matter. If you disagree and tell me a million reasons why you think it's other people, it's not going to make me change my mind. This is the Amplifieds. The Amplified Man's and the Amplified Male Wrestler of the Year, and the Amplified Man's Amplified Female Wrestler of the Year, and the Amplified Man's Tag Team Wrestlers of the Year. This is it. If you're going to cry about it, please do it elsewhere. It's not going to reach the channel anyway, so you'll just be wasting your time. So let's rock this out, man. Before PWI Insider or Pro Wrestling Illustrated starts coming out with their list, just remember, I got a lot of facts here to back up my claims. I just hope they do as well. Shall we get the bubbly rockin'? Had to put the coffee aside for a sec. Don't worry, I had about 10 fucking coffees already. Sasha will tell you. But let's get some fucking bubbly for the royalty that is about to be declared. We're going to start out with the Male Wrestler of the Year. I'm not going to make you guys fucking wait a second longer. For the men, I narrowed it down to 3 selections. There are 3 possible candidates for Male Wrestler of the Year. Number 1 is Seth Rollins. Number 2, Jon Moxley of AEW. Back over to WWE, joining Rollins in this category of 3, Roman Reigns. Those are your 3 selections for the category of Male Wrestler of the Year. There can only be one winner, but it is an honor because you guys know how harshly I critique pro wrestling because I know what these wrestlers are capable of, the shows, the events, and what pro wrestling can be today. So I am justified in my harsh critiques. So it's an honor to make it to the top 3 in the wrestling world. Seth Rollins, Mox, and Roman Reigns. Now, how does BC come to his conclusion? Who is going to be Wrestler of the Year out of these 3 names? Rollins, Mox, Roman. If I start with Rollins, BC, how did you come across Rollins to be in your top 3 to begin with? Well, Rollins is getting this nod, and he's getting it in a very rare, unique, and special way, right? Because he lost a lot over the last year. When you think about Seth Rollins, you think about a lot of L's that he has collected. In fact, including house shows, television, and premium events, Rollins is only 11 wins out of his last 50 matches. I'm going to say that again. And I'm going to give a salute to Seth Rollins because that poor dude does not deserve that type of booking. Salute to Rollins for getting through that storm. Whether he wins this category or not, whether Seth Rollins becomes Male Wrestler of the Year from the Amplified Man's point of view or not, being in this category with Mox and Roman says something because you are 11 wins out of your last 50 matches. That's fucking horrendous to many standards. 11 out of 50. That is a 22% winning percentage. I'll say that again. Seth Rollins has a 22% winning percentage. 22. Seth Rollins, guys, one of the best wrestlers in the world. 22% winning percentage. That's fucking mind-boggling, right? But see, that's not what we're solely basing this on, right? That's the booking part of it. It's a big part, trust me. And it hurt Seth Rollins tremendously, trust me. But you see, he makes this list because he's been a banger machine. producing good match after good match after good match after great match after great match after great match. From last October facing Edge inside Hell in a Cell, a winning performance with Team Raw at Survivor Series to follow that up, a DQ win over Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, banging out with Brock Lesnar in the Elimination Chamber, an entire spring of kick-ass matches with Cody Rhodes, including WrestleMania in April, Backlash in May, and Hell in a Cell in June. A favorite to win Money in the Bank in July, but VKM decided to go with Austin Theory. He was kept off of SummerSlam to build his match with Matt Riddle for the Clash at the Castle, which this past Saturday, at the Castle, Rollins defeated Riddle in a badass match that many were calling Match of the Night. Rollins himself disagrees with the decision to pull that match off of SummerSlam, as does BC, as does most of you guys. But boy, did they put out that fucking delivery at Clash at the Castle last Saturday. Even with a poor win-loss record, Rollins is proven to be too good to be denied, making the top 3 pro wrestlers of 2022. Best way BC can put it, he's been too good for too long to be denied one of the top 3 wrestlers in 2022. To Seth Rollins, I say salute. Again, Rollins in this category for Best Male Wrestler of the Year. He is in this category with Mox. How did I come to the conclusion to have Mox in this top 3 to join Seth Rollins? Mox, unlike Rollins, Jon Moxley, his last 50 matches are simply outrageous. In a good way. Listen to these numbers for Jon Moxley. Again, if you want to compare this, Rollins is 11 wins out of his last 50 matches. Listen to Mox. 45 wins out of his last 50 matches. Jon Moxley has won 45 out of 50. That is a 90% win percentage. 90%. That's almost unheard of in professional wrestling, at least for the dudes. Simply incredible numbers. Based on them alone, he could be placed as one of the top wrestlers of 2022, and that's with taking most of November and all of December off to fight a battle with alcohol dependence, by the way. But the list of names he's faced and beaten since the return includes, and these are just a few, he has returned and defeated Jay Lethal, Bryan Danielson, Chris Jericho, CM Punk, and many other top names. All while part of a faction, by the way, or most of those wins, while in a faction called BBC, where he's also helping to create buzz around wrestlers like Wheeler Yuta. So as he's building his own resume further and further and capturing lightning in a bottle and more momentum than he's ever seen as Mox, Dean Ambrose, or any other entity, he's also giving the rub to future talent. But most impressively is how Mox stood up and stood out when the company needed him the most. When CM Punk went down due to injury and they needed a new interim champion, they needed somebody to step up for that company, Mox became rejuvenated instantly. The charisma, the confidence, the momentum from Mox was unlike anything we've seen in pro wrestling in a very long time. And he helped to carry that company through the stratosphere, I feel, until Punk came back. And he didn't even need Punk to come back. And the only thing that I feel hurt Mox was Punk beating him in Chicago. But Mox stood the fuck up. His promos got better. His momentum seemed to be legit, as I just aforementioned, lightning in a bottle. The charisma and the confidence in Mox, we've never seen that before. Not when he was Dean Ambrose, not before he got to WWE. We've never seen that level where he's just on cloud 9 and he ain't coming down for nobody. There's no way, guys, that Jon Moxley from All Elite Wrestling does not make my top 3 in the category of Best Wrestler of 2022. Is it enough to win the category? We'll find out in just a couple of minutes. But first, I got to go to the 3rd participant in this category, Male Wrestler of the Year. Joining Seth Rollins and Mox is Roman Reigns. First, where's my respect to Mox for even being in the category? Just like I did to Rollins, salute to Mox. Roman Reigns joins this category. He is on a 2-year tear as world champion. As of this recording, he is on a 742-day plus title reign. I'll say that again because that's astronomical. 742-day title reign. Not even realistic in today's professional wrestling where attention spans have dwindled to nothing and fans are more fickle than ever before. He is 33 of his last 50 matches. He has wins just last year, if you were to go back to 2021, a little before that SummerSlam, and past for 2021, he has wins over names like the following: Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, Edge, and John Cena. That was all just last year alone, from SummerSlam-ish on. This year, he has wins over names like Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Goldberg, and Brock Lesnar. And again, that's really all within the last 365. That's from SummerSlam-ish last year to summer where we are today. Those fucking names, not just who he had matches with, who he beat. He unified the WWE and Universal Championships at Mania in April and has successfully defended both 15 times since, including house shows, and most of those were against Drew McIntyre. Most importantly, whether it was Roman versus Cesaro, Roman versus Shinsuke, Roman versus John Cena, Roman versus Edge, Roman versus Owens, Roman versus McIntyre, Roman versus Lesnar, Rollins, Daniel Bryan, the list goes on and on. No matter what the match was, the matches nearly, if not always, delivered. So it wasn't like he was just in these matches and he's winning and we're all crying because Roman's got all the belts and they're just booking him strong and everyone's being buried, because I know people are saying that, and a lot of that might even be true, right? Especially for Cesaro, Finn Balor, Shinsuke, right? Once they were beat by Roman, they went fucking not just to the beginning of the line, they weren't even seen or irrelevant for the longest time, it felt. So I understand why people could be upset with the booking. That's not Roman's. Roman wasn't booking. That's VKM. We can only look at what Roman was doing. Roman was going out and having matches that we were all saying, damn, that was good. Damn, match of the night. That's got to account for something. And booking Roman strong, while I hate to see people raised up while tearing others down, I don't want to see anyone fed to people, or it better be the right situations. I hear that. Trust me. The booking of Reigns absolutely could have been tailored differently for others. But that's not what we're coming... The conclusion we have to come to here is Roman Reigns himself. The matches he has had in the last 365, the W's he has collected when it counted the most... Even though he doesn't have a winning percentage like Mox, 45 out of 50, Roman's only 30 of 50, but it's on the grandest stage when he collected those big-time W's against the biggest names in pro wrestling over the last 10 years plus, easily. And the fact that he was going out every one of those matches, or nearly all of them, and absolutely producing. He has been shafted by other lists over the last few years for names like Kenny Omega, but there was no way, and I like Kenny, by the way, Kenny Omega fan right here, but there was no way he was getting shafted on BC's list. His run has been nothing short of incredible, and I know Roman has his detractors. A lot of people don't even like to mention Roman. Fuck Roman is what they say. He shouldn't be double champ. He's ruining everybody. I get it. I hear ya, man. I hear you. Relax. Tone it down. I get you. You're not leaving him off the fucking list like he's been left off for the past couple of fucking years. It's not happening. Roman Reigns is fucking dominant. You don't like the booking? I hear you. Take it up with Triple H right now. Roman Reigns is on this list of 3 with Seth Rollins and Mox. Salute to Roman Reigns. The time of waiting is over. The male wrestler of the year is upon us. The grand reveal, the amplified reveal. Sasha, a little bit of a drum roll or some music, something. And hopefully I don't knock the whole set down as I'm doing this. So there you go. I like that. Here we go. The 2021-2022 Summer to Summer Male Wrestler of the Year is... coming. Oh, wait, look. We gotta raise the anticipation. Oh, no way. Is it? Is it? Roman Reigns. Acknowledge him. Roman Reigns is your 2021-2022 Professional Wrestling Male Wrestler of the Year. Based on the amplified channel measurements. Congratulations, man. That's fucking awesome. Good job to Roman, man. I gotta give the dude a salute. Could easily any one of these 3 men gotten it? I want to say yes. But there was no way that Roman was going to get beat out by not even Rollins and Mox. When I break these 3 names down for everything that I just aforementioned, I just don't see anybody topping Roman. Now, if you're wondering, well, BC, what's the Rollins? I mean, what really broke it for Rollins? You do have to look at those major L's. You know, I mean, he helped Cody out big time, and that's why he even made the list. Sometimes the L's aren't as prevalent if you're knocking off or checking off every other. Check in the box, you know, every other box is checked. You're going to be good, man. One area is not going to totally derail you. But those losses, man, they added up to a point where somebody beforehand should have said, wait, man, maybe some more W's for Seth. I mean, 11 wins out of 50. Somebody should have been acknowledging that that's not realistic. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. But what it really was, too, was it got weird. After he did those jobs to Cody, they really didn't know what to do at that point. It looked like he was going to win Money in the Bank, and even though BC didn't think he needed to, they still gave it to Austin Theory over him. And then the very next month for SummerSlam, or at SummerSlam, I don't think it was the next month, at SummerSlam, they took his match away with Riddle. And Seth just recently gave an interview where he said that still leaves a bitter taste in his mouth. That still pisses him off that he was removed from that card. He felt he should have been on SummerSlam. And I do too. So they waited on it. We finally got it at the Clash, and it was a really good match, as we knew it would be. But it was just a couple of just weird tweaks, man, over the last several months that just, if it was real close between Rollins and Roman, who gets it? Male Wrestler of the Year. That's kind of what pegged Rollins down. As far as Mox, it wasn't the going to rehab for November and December. Absolutely not. He rebounded fucking easily. And 45 out of 50 for your winning percentage is 90%. That's incredible, man. What did it for Mox is, I honestly think the CM Punk situation. I mean, putting that on live TV and in the squash fashion, and then less than 2 weeks later, he gets beat by Punk in an absolute fucking war just because it's Chicago, when it was clear that Punk cannot carry the company. That's not even shade. Mox can. Mox got himself better so he can come back and do just that. And when he had all the momentum in the world, Tony Khan took the fucking title from him. I just feel like those are the type of things that'll knock you down a few pegs. And Roman was already on cloud 9 with an nearly 750-day fucking title reign. This guy's going toward 3 fucking years. I mean, I just don't know how he's not the fucking dog, the tribal chief, and how we just don't acknowledge. Even if you don't like Roman, I understand. I get that all the time on there. But you say, fuck Roman. But you say, I can't stand Roman. And I'm sure this will piss a lot of people off that Roman is Wrestler of the Year from the Amplified Man's standpoint. But I'm not here to please people. I'm here to talk pro wrestling in the most factual-based way I can. I'm going over facts with you guys, statistics. I'm going back into the history books. I'm going fucking match by match for a lot of these guys. I don't know what else you want me to do other than agree with you. And that's not always the realistic journey that we should be taking. We need to put the facts first. And then we can all be on the same road together, you know? Whether we all reach the same destination, hey, remains to be seen. But the only way to get on the same road together, on the same journey, on the same path, is to be real with one another. Just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean your disagreement is reality. It just means it's what you like and don't like. It's how you feel. I love Sasha Banks, right? But I can say she's one of the best wrestlers in the world because Sasha Banks is the common denominator in nearly everybody's greatest match. You can pick a wrestler. If they face Sasha, Sasha was probably their best match. I also really like Jinder Mahal. But I know Jinder Mahal is nowhere near a Wrestler of the Year because Jinder Mahal just doesn't connect with a shit ton of fans. A lot of fans think he's boring. He doesn't do it for them. The promos run stale. There's a list of things that's wrong with the connection of Jinder. I know that. That's why I would never try to push Jinder Mahal on you. But I like Jinder. You see that? I can like somebody, but that doesn't mean they're the best. Or that the way I feel about Jinder should make him number one. You gotta put your emotions and feelings aside, man. I looked at all the pro wrestlers, and this is what we've come up with. And again, this is North America. I probably didn't even say that. I think you guys already know that. I'm not going into I'm not going to New Japan for anything. I'm not going to the UK. I'm staying pretty much North American based for the most part. United States, let's keep it there. WWE, AEW, Impact, if anybody did raise your fucking eyebrow. We'll find out if anybody did for the women or tag teams. But that's a little bit of a thing there, man. Roman Reigns easily. Well, I'm not too easy. I mean, Rollins and Mox were there. But when I'm looking at those three, Roman absolutely fucking just took the category. It's sad that I have to explain that on my own fucking channel where I can just say any name and we can move on. But these things are weird, you know, when you make vids like this, when you do the award ceremonies like this, you know, everybody thinks that who they believe should have been is the right choice. So I'm all of a sudden wrong. It's not about being wrong. It's my fucking channel. I did my due diligence. I put all my facts together, and Roman's number one. If that makes you cry, I can't help you, man. Get a towel and wipe your tears. What am I going to do? I can't help you stop crying. Sasha's laughing. Should we do the women? Let's go over to the women, man, because I want to unveil that next. So again, man, to Roman Reigns, congratulations on the male wrestler of the fucking year. Dun 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 dun. Now we gotta do the new one, right? What's the new one? What's his new theme? I put on it, but man, that's a banger at the gym if you ever want to rock out another set. I can't think of the fucking theme now, man. So now it's just a fuck. Hey, did you guys think of this? Think about that top three. I just thought about this, Sasha. It's not even in my notes. It just dawned on me. You guys probably already thought about it. The top three for Wrestler of the Year in the category. Seth Rollins, Mox, Roman. The fucking Shield, man. Damn it. I think it's a win for all of them, actually. Yo, to the Shield. Salute, bro. What the fuck? I did not mean to do that, guys. That was just the top three that I came up with. Salute to the fucking Shield, dude. I don't think Vince even knew what he had, man. He tried to book him strong. He probably would have booked him even stronger had he known the fucking immense talent. Wouldn't have let fucking Mox go. If you're wondering if there was notables, guys, there was. Cody Rhodes, the injury, unfortunately, took him right out. It probably would have been Cody. I mean, Cody was just having a fucking year, bro. Since WrestleMania last year, all the way to what he could have been doing straight through September, it probably would have been Cody Rhodes. Another notable, a lot of people, a fan favorite is Dax over in AEW. Tag team wrestler, but he's having some banger fucking singles matches. He's losing some of the bigger ones, but he is having a pretty cool run. It's not enough to, like, take on Mox, Rollins, and Roman in Wrestler of the Year. Let's calm it down, guys. let's relax. He hasn't done enough on the singles run to get Wrestler of the Year, but that is a fun little... I'll give you guys that one. Dax is a fun name, but Cody would have been the most... Yeah, the biggest worth mention. Now for the women. Let's move on. The 3 names. And there was actually 4. It was a little bit of a tie on the last 2. I couldn't really come up because my research had them at a tie. There's nothing else I could do. And I always pride this channel on being the most fairest and the most fact-based. So I couldn't just pick a name out of a hat. I had to and put both of them. So this list actually has 4 names, guys. Bianca Belair is one of the 4 female wrestlers of the year. Liv Morgan is the second of 4 wrestlers of the year. Is it enough to win this category? We'll find out. Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, they just happen to be both WWE respective champions of Raw and SmackDown. That's just what we came to the conclusion of, guys. We didn't put them as the 2 because they are holding titles in WWE, I assure you. I'm going to go over exactly how we came to that conclusion and that decision, just to show you I'm not just picking names. Bianca, Liv Morgan. And the last 2 names was such a tie, and they just happen to be from Impact Wrestling. Deonna Purrazzo and Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Gracie and Deonna Purrazzo round off a list of 4. How did I get to this conclusion? Let me start out with Bianca Belair, and let me give a salute. Congrats, Bianca. We'll see who wins this category in just a few minutes. Bianca Belair has won 40... Listen to this shit. It's incredible. You thought 45 of 50 was exceptional for Mox, which it is. Bianca Belair has won 47 out of her last 50 matches. 47 of 50. That is a 94% winning percentage. 94%. You can't go that much better other than maybe 100%, bro. I mean, what is she going to win? 48, 49? All 50 out of 50? 47 of 50, 94% winning percentage. You're not going to find a female matching or doing better than that. Or if you do, they're in obscurity. This year alone, many had her winning the Royal Rumble if not for Ronda Rousey's entry. She did win the Elimination Chamber weeks later in February. The Elimination Chamber, Bianca had her hand raised high. Then she went on to defeat Becky Lynch at WrestleMania in April to become Raw Women's Champion. She then defeated Becky Lynch and Asuka in a triple threat for the title at Hell in a Cell, then beat Carmella at Money in the Bank, defeated Becky Lynch again one-on-one at SummerSlam, and proceeded to run through the roster in the process, defeating names like Sonya Deville, Doudrop, Nikki Ash, Zelina Vega, Asuka, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, one of the best wrestlers in the world, and many more. Her current title reign sits at over 160 days. And if Bayley cannot find a way to get it from her, we could be looking at another 160 days, at least. Yeah, enough said. Bianca Belair. En route, she's up there with 3 other names to become Women's Wrestler of the Year, based on the Amplified's publication. You can put it in stone. The Amplified man has the real fucking list. Now Liv Morgan. And I know this is a touchy subject because fans are starting to turn on Morgan all of a sudden. Right. She had all the momentum in the world when she won the title, and now all of a sudden, Liv's not good. Liv lost momentum. Liv needs to get out of the... Liv needs to retrain. Liv needs to find a way to connect. I don't know what people are fucking talking about. After my due diligence, when coming to the terms of this list and who should be on it and how did they make it, let's go over some fucking facts, shall we? Liv Morgan 30 wins out of her last 50. When you're talking about the women's division, that's actually really fucking good. That shows you what Belair did, 47 out of 50. That's fucking through the stratosphere unusual. But Liv is 30 out of 50. She is the current SmackDown Women's Champion, and she has produced some really good matches for the women over the last year. It all started in those series of title matches with Becky Lynch in January, culminating in a loss to Lynch at the Day 1 event, but easily putting Morgan on the map to many fans that maybe didn't give her a second look. It was those Becky Lynch matches and that specific one at Day 1 that had everybody talking, reignited their passion for Liv Morgan. The world got to see Morgan's talent, and those were the matches that helped put her on the map. She would go on to have good matches with Sasha Banks on a SmackDown telecast and Rhea Ripley on a Raw show. And by the way, she won both. She beat Sasha Banks, my personal favorite female wrestler in the world, and she beat Rhea Ripley, a certified badass. Her massive win at the Money in the Bank Premium event, I can speak, Sasha. Salut. Her massive win at the Money in the Bank Premium Live event, so used to call them pay-per-views. In that ladder match, that was just the beginning of her massive night. After she won that ladder match at Money in the Bank, a little over an hour later, she entered Ronda Rousey, and I believe it was Natty, correct? Their title match. She defeated Ronda Rousey to become SmackDown Women's Champion. She wins the ladder match, wins the briefcase, and then she goes on to defeat Ronda Rousey later in the night. If you're thinking about the women of pro wrestling, I don't know how you can have a bigger single night than what Liv had. That right there would put her in the category of Women Wrestler of the Year, as long as she's checking off a few extra boxes. I'm telling you about all these other really good matches she's been having. That fucking one night. If you think about any wrestler having a night like that, that's electrifying in this business, in this industry. She became SmackDown Women's Champion that night. She would then defeat Rousey again at SummerSlam. Controversy surrounded that. Fans started to turn on her a bit. And recently, she defended her title successfully against Shayna Baszler. A badass motherfucker, just not booked as such. And that was at Clash at the Castle. Again, as I aforementioned, fans have since turned sour on Morgan, but facts are facts. Morgan has had one of the best years for female wrestlers. Again, if you're going to cry about it and you want somebody else in that place, I don't know what to tell you. There's honorable mentions, no doubt, like Britt Baker. But the truth is, after Baker lost her title to Rosa, they really didn't have anything. They tried to make her relevant in an Owen Hart tournament, gave her some pink belt, some pink championship, and she was back in irrelevancy. Britt Baker kind of fell off the play. Even with the tournament, the Owen tournament, it's like she fell off the planet for many months. So I couldn't put Britt Baker there. I want to. If you told me 6 months ago I'd be making a list, Wrestler of the Year for the females, and Britt Baker wouldn't be on it, I'd say you've done lost your dome piece. Britt, I can't put on it. Thunder Rosa has not had anywhere near a good title reign. I mean, a lot of people are trashing Liv Morgan, but they're giving Thunder Rosa a clean pass. Absolutely not. Morgan's title reign is absolutely fucking or not just title reign, because that's only been a couple months. Morgan's last year absolutely eclipses Thunder Rosa's 10 times around. You know, other AEW female talent like Sheeta, Serena Deeb, little Layla Hirsch, who I love. There's no way I can put them as the top wrestlers over Liv Morgan, man. I can't even put them over Deanna or Jordan from Impact. Because I have to be honest on this channel. I just can't be picking fan favorites. You know, I'd love to put Jade Cargill. She's fucking tooling motherfuckers. The point is, she's only had 30-something matches combined in her whole career. You can't really base anything off of that. Her biggest names is like Athena and maybe Thunder Rose. Thunder Rosa. She's not a rose. She's a Rosa. Thunder Rose, her sister. Thunder Rosa and Ember Moon Athena is her like big, and maybe one other name. I you know, as much as I'm so high on Jade Cargill, now is not the time. Maybe in a year, Jade Cargill will not only be on the list, maybe she'll be the female. But guys, I have to be honest here, man. It's Bianca and Liv Morgan. You may not like Morgan. She might not be connecting with you. She's had one of the best years that a female has had. You don't think I want to put Sasha Banks on this list? My favorite? I feel the best female wrestler in the world at all times. But because of the walkout and for many months she's been gone, there's no way I can factually put my favorite even in the list. That's how you know I'm being fair. So Bianca and Liv, for reasons I stated, and there are many reasons. Moving on, there was the tie-up on that last spot, that third spot. This was hard, so they both got the nod, making it a 4-woman category. There was no way I could leave one of these two ladies out. Jordynne Grace and Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna is 36 wins of her last 50. That is so fucking good. For the ladies, 36 of 50. And Deonna has defeated names like my gal, one of my favorites, Roxy, Jazz, Thunder Rosa, Chelsea Green, ODB, and many more. Those are just some of the names that she's faced and defeated over the last year. In a world where most fans only talk about WWE and AEW in the States, Purrazzo has made people acknowledge women's wrestling elsewhere, like Impact. The fact that she made a name for herself and captured people's attention outside of the two biggest companies and made so many fans give a shit. Yeah. That's many reasons why she's on this list. She had a career year, to say the least. She had a career year, to say the least. Deonna Purrazzo, there's no way she doesn't make this fucking list. And she's tied up in that third spot, making it a 4-woman group with Jordynne Grace. She's only 26 out of her last 50 matches in terms of W's, but it's what she brings to the table in other areas that has her catapulted to the top of some of the most talked about women's wrestlers of the last year. Like believability, realism, strength, power, intimidation. At just 5'3" and 150 pounds, her opponents treat her as if she's 6'3", 250. And for good reason. She's built like a brick fucking wall. In fact, she has no problem taking on the dudes. Old school China status. In fact, she even took on Matt Cardona in a series of highly talked about matches earlier this year. In fact, if you take, there was like 3 of them, wasn't there? And she lost, was it all 3? She would be closer to 30 out of 50 with Deonna in terms of wins out of her last 50, if not for Cardona. But she ain't afraid to take on the fucking dudes. Like China used to do. Badass, man. Not your normal female competitor. When you talk about an impactful year, pun intended, for the ladies, not many would top Jordynne's year. She absolutely deserves to be in the Amplified Man's list. If not yours, cool. Maybe a lot of you guys don't even know Jordynne. Cool. But on the Amplified Man's list, there's no way she could be taken off that list or not on it. Her and Deonna tie for that third spot. So now, we have a situation where it's Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Deonna Purrazzo, Jordynne Grace. Who wins Female Wrestler of the Year via the Amplified Man? Sasha, give me some music. Give me a drum roll or some fucking music. Let's build that anticipation. Salute to all these ladies, first and foremost. There's no real losers. There's just one major winner. There's a queen about to be fucking labeled. Salute to the Female Wrestler of the Year. shit. Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is your female wrestler of the year for 2021-2022. Congratulations. Congratulations to the current WWE Raw Women's Champion. Again, a year that is just, it's almost, it's video game-esque, right? It's not even, like, believable that Bianca Belair is 47 out of 50. 47 victories. That's absolutely just, you can't even think that. That's video game status, man. It's like when you play Madden football and you run up the score, and the end score between you and the computer is like 120 to like 85. Well, that would never happen in football. But in Madden, it would. Well, if you're playing the character Bianca on the video game, yeah, you're going to win nearly all those 50 matches. But just the names that she's beaten. And the grandest stage of them all. From last year's WrestleMania, man. And Sasha Banks. And beating Sasha and winning that championship. The huge Money in the Bank victory. Or Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber. There you go. And then beating Becky Lynch at Mania. I mean, and just the ride she's had. You don't need to sell this. I don't need to sell you on it. Bianca Belair is the women's wrestler of the fucking year. Salute to that young lady. She is kicking ass, and she's got her whole career in front of her. I don't even think she's hit her prime. I really don't. I think she's a year away from her prime, man. Another 5 to 10 fucking other golden years. Not golden as in older. Just like those 5 to 10 years where she's just going to be probably just the most talked about fucking thing in pro wrestling for ladies. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I don't even see this as her prime. Salute to Bianca Belair. Again, I already went over some notables with you guys, man. Sasha Banks, but she just hasn't been around, and I had to be factual. I had to leave my favorite female wrestler off the list. Io Shirai, Io Sky is my second favorite female wrestler in the world, and I had to leave her off too. She just hasn't had a better career than these ladies the last year. She just hasn't. Woo! That's big time, man. Look at that board so far. Roman and Belair. So we're at a point where even if you disagree or you don't like it doesn't matter. If you would do it different, it wouldn't matter. It doesn't make it wrong. I mean, Roman and Belair, I'm pretty sure if you're being truthful, they've had some of the best fucking years that you can possibly have for a pro wrestler. I mean, these two have they're living that fucking life, dude. Living their, what's it, Sasha? Living their best life. Now for the tag teams. I'm going to keep this short, man. I wanted to keep this under about an hour or roughly an hour. So let me go right to the tag team of the year. It's just a 2-team race, guys. I'm not even going to add a third. Because we'll just be bullshitting each other. Right? I think we all know what the deal is here. The Usos and FTR. I think we all know that. For the Usos, they've been champions over 419 days. Fuck, bro. Them and Roman, these are video game numbers. Jimmy and Jey Uso have been champions for over 419 days and double champs, unifying the titles on May 20th for 4 months now. 419 days and holding both titles, beating every team imaginable that's on WWE. Now, that's not saying very much. The tag team division has been pretty irrelevant for nearly 10 years. But, I mean, there's people on the list that they've beaten that are really good. Street Profits several times. The New Day several times. Randy fucking Orton in a tag team with Matt Riddle. Usos took care of them and so many others. And they're holding those titles. Am I a fan of the way they're booked a lot of the times? No. I love the stuff they do with Roman. I don't like how they're a lot of the times used as the gophers or just the cronies of Roman, because I don't feel that champions should be booked that way a ton of the time, and they seem to do that. But when you look at the wins-losses in the tag team matches, guys, subtly, it's very subtle because you don't even notice it, but they collect a lot more W's than L's, and they come out the victors when it matters the most as tag teams. Over on the flip side, FTR has not had a tag match in AEW since May 25th. I'm going to say that again. FTR has not had a tag match in AEW since May 25th. Yeah, May. It's September. You got to go back August, July, June. You got to go back 4 months to find a tag team match for FTR. Everything in the last month to 2 months has been singles matches and 6-man tag matches ever since. And even worse, they've been ranked number 1 in AEW's rankings, but they never are even in the discussion for a title shot from promoter and boss Tony Khan. To the point where they go on social, they go online, and they actually make fun of that. Every fucking week, they talk about being number 1 ranked, and Tony's just looking past them. But it ain't just getting title shots. That's going to be down the line, BC. They're holding off. It's the fact that they're not even a tag team anymore. They're in 6-man schmazes all the time. They're in singles matches a lot. Dax especially. And that's a shame because they actually have 3 sets of fucking ROH tag champions, AAA tag champions, IWGP tag champions. But you never really know it. Their momentum has been cut off from underneath them by their own promoter, their own boss, Tony Khan. So guys, this was hard. If you told me a month, 2 months ago, maybe I would have fucking just shouted out FTR. But when I looked at all the stats, the actual tag team, whether we like the booking or not, I hear you. Both teams are being booked so fucking odd in both promotions. But the Usos are more of a tag team. They're actually having tag team matches, not just because they have 2 sets of titles, because FTR has 3 sets, but it's because they're having tag matches. I mean, 4 months since FTR has had a tag match in AEW. Do you realize that the Usos have had 25, including live events, but 25 in the last couple months? So, based on that alone, I have to. I mean, this is tag team of the year, not 6-man of the year, not trio of the year, not tag team of half the year. Should we find out who it is? That's what made it hard. I would have said FTR probably 2 months ago. I probably would have said the Usos fucking last week. And here we are right now. Who do I say? Let's find out together. Sasha, hit that. The Amplified Tag Team of the Year award goes to Usos. What do I got going here, man? Oh, you know what? Hold on. I got this, Sasha. It's not E-Usos. E-Usos. The Usos. There you go. It is, guys. Although I do like E-Usos as well. Bring back Tony Chimmel. Bring back Tony Chimmel and make him call E-Usos. The Usos are your tag team of the year, according to the Amplified Channel publication. It's as fair as we're going to get. If you're going to edge out FTR, you know, you got to ask yourself, are you being fucking fair here, man? You have to be a tag team. You have to be, bro. You just have to be. You know what I mean? That's like you're judging the best chocolate bar of the year, right? And you have all these bars. You got fucking Snickers. You got Three Musketeers, Milky Ways. You got Hershey bars. You got fucking whatchamacallits. You guys ever have a whatchamacallit? What about Kit Kats? You got Butterfingers. You got it all, right? And Skittles ends up winning. Skittles. Because they're owned by like Mars or so is that M&M. Well, Skittles is owned by one of the big fucking company. And Skittles is sold with chocolate, especially around Halloween. You get the big bags, right? So you can get M&Ms with Snickers and Skittles or whatever the fuck. But Skittles should not be winning the best chocolate of the year. It's not fucking chocolate. FTR's got 3 sets of titles. We know how good they are. We know how good of a tag team they are. We know how good they were booked for many months this past year. But you can't just not have them compete in tag matches for months and then turn around and go, it doesn't matter. They're still number 1. You can't do that, man. Skittles cannot win the best chocolate of the year if they're not chocolate. And if you're not having tag matches for months, you can't be. You can't be declared the winner. It's as fair as you're going to get. Wrestler of the Year for the men, Roman Reigns. Female Wrestler of the Year is Bianca Belair. And the Tag Team Wrestlers of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, is the Usos. It is a clean sweep for WWE, but a notable mentions from AEW in the form of Mox for sure, FTR, even Impact Wrestling, a nod to them with a Deanna and Jordan. That's what I mean about as fair as you're going to get. You know, and again, we didn't include New Japan Pro Wrestling, the UK for the most part, because then that just opens up another hour of discussion. I don't have 2 hours, to be honest. We do have things to do. But that's your list, guys. I wanted to do that now because there's no way I was going to get this in the next 3 months. The schedule is going to become more and more fucking of a grind. A lot of traveling, a lot to get out, and there's pay-per-views to go. There's weekly shows we got to talk about and other vids and news that we're going to have to discuss. There's no way this hour was going to be presented, or I just didn't see the time. I tried to make it next week. The more I thought about it, I was like, nah, Sasha, we got to do it today. Guys, my Amplified unit, much love and respect. I hope you had a lot of fun. This was all supposed to be in fun. I mean, it's factual for BC and how I came to these conclusions. The best wrestlers of 2021, 2022. But it's all supposed to be mainly for fun, man. Have some fun with your own list. Have some fun with how you would get to that list. Just be real with yourself. Don't just put your favorites, or don't leave people off because you just don't like them. If that's the case, you probably shouldn't be putting a list together. But that's the Amplified list, man. I had a lot of fun putting it together, putting my notes together, going into the history books, putting facts with statistics and cracking the numbers, and I always have fun with these type of things. My lovely assistant, Sasha, helped out with the fine-tuning in the notes, make sure everything was squared off, and it's presented to you guys. So there it is, man. A big congratulations, man, to Roman, Bianca, and Jimmy and Jay. What a fucking year for those 4 lady and gents. Salute to them all and to my unit. Till next time, top guy, and I'm out. BC saying check you later. Sasha, hit my motherfucking music. Salute, Sash.